The following is a presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. Well, hello and good evening. It is Tuesday, July 25th, 2023. Welcome to the only show about Spartan Dawgs, hosted by Spartan Dawgs. This is Sparta MSU. I'm your host, Jason Strayhorn. Played back in the Pearls and Saban eras as a center, team captain. I couldn't do this without my two dogs in the fight. The boss, Otis Wiley, hard-hitting safety, ball-hawking safety, that played during the John L. Smith and the D'Antonio eras, along with his counterpart here, Jehuu Jehuu Caulcrick, just a single season touchdown record holder. And look, if this is your first time to the show, we welcome you. If this is not your first time, we thank you. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media handles at This is Sparta MSU. And don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons. Got to do that. Helps us a whole lot. Doesn't cost you a thing. Let us know where you're watching us from, and be sure to go into the chat on YouTube. That's where the party's at. So let's go into this special episode. We're talking Hall of Fame. And guys, how you doing?
We're good. I'm excited. I want to jump right in, bring on our guests, and let's get after it.
Let's get after it then. What's up?
Yeah.
We're not going to wait on this. We're going to bring on Javon Ringer, the guest of honor, right now, who is the newly, inducted, I guess. He's getting there. Hall of Fame, MSU Sports Hall of Fame member. Javon joins the show. There he goes. Here's the graphic. Played back in 05 to 08. One hell of a running back and a better person. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate y'all, man. Thank
Welcome
you.
back. Welcome back, though.
Welcome back to the show.
Already on welcome back, brother.
Yeah. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all again, bro.
Hey, Rain, that freshman profile pic with the John L. boys. You know how like the
I tell you though, that's when a lot of people learn to tie ties.
This is true.
Bro, yeah, but it's funny.
Time.
I did ask them like, "Yo, what picture are y'all gonna use?" And they said, "Hey, we'll find one. It'll probably be one that we already have." So I just kind of had to take that on the chin. But that's funny that you brought that up because I definitely asked about that.
Yeah, everybody just came back from weight room. Coach man like, my neck right.
Javon, let's talk about the moment that you got the call. Like how did that go when you found out that you were going to be immortalized in the Michigan State Hall of Fame?
Okay. So first things first, I can't express how surprised I was because now Alan called me and I've talked to Alan before. So when I saw his number pop up on my phone, it was kind of just like, whatever. What's up, man? What's going on? I answered the phone, just casual, whatever. And he gave me the news and shocked. Just to say I was shocked is the understatement because I truly thought. Now he'll tell you he told me like I think you're just trying to be humble, but that wasn't the case. Like I genuinely did not feel like one, I did enough individually to get inducted. But
What?
I didn't. I was never. So this was my thing. I was never a part of like a Big Ten championship team. I was never a part of like a big bowl game winning team. Like, so that's where my mind went. Like the winning part. Like I was never truly a part of something huge like that. So that was one. Number two, I thought about if I did possibly have it, because I did know I was number 2 all-time rushing behind Lorenzo White, and then I passed him, and I'm number 1 in Michigan State history in all-purpose yards. I did have that, but in my mind, like I said, I never was a part of what I just described. But then also, I always thought like if I did have any chance of getting in, it wouldn't be till like freaking 50 years down the line. I'm like super old. You know, I can barely, you can barely enjoy. Because honestly, just just being honest, like I ain't trying, just being honest, that's usually how that go, right? Like usually guys are like super old when they get in, and that's just kind of what I thought. Like I felt like eventually 50 years later, they probably like, yo, we need to fill a spot. So hey, all right, hey, Ringer, hey, he's a good one. We could maybe put him in. So it's like, all right,
every year.
So to get in now, I was completely shocked. My bad, I'm kind of rambling. I was super shocked. I was very surprised. And honestly, I kind of had a sucker moment. I was in the barber shop. I was getting cut by Michael Jordan. And so Michael Jordan was a former player for Michigan State. I was getting cut up by him. And I got the call, and like, I'm not an emotional guy. Like I don't do that. I don't do emotions. It wasn't until I had my daughter where like that actually started to come out of me a little bit more. Fellas, if anybody, guys who hear this, girls that do that to you.
We all have them. Yes, we are. Daughters.
I started to get like choked up and emotional. Like, hold up, like, what? I had to. Mike could tell you, like, because Otis, I know you go there too. Yeah, Mike had to tell you, I had to walk out. I had to walk out the shop. Like, yo, I can't be like getting like crying and shit like this. I'm sorry.
You good? You good? That's podcast.
People like, hold up, bro. Like. But it was crazy because I was very surprised. I was very shocked. I was humbled by it, and it was it was huge for me.
Did you even hear like his words, or like as soon as he said, "Hey, you're being inducted," and it was like you black out?
Hey, so listen, so we had the conversation. Afterwards, when I'm driving, I barely could remember anything that we talked about. Like we had a conversation. Like even though I was emotional, we had a conversation. But I told myself, I was like, yo, I gotta call him back because like half of that I don't remember what we talked about. But I'm saying that because I'm not an emotional guy. Like I'm a tough guy. I'm a warrior guy. Like this is my mindset. It wasn't until I had my daughter to where I don't know, things started to change for me. So I feel like that's why God gave me a girl. Then it was like, yeah, I really didn't remember. I don't remember 80% of the conversation me and Alan had. So I did tell myself, like, yo, I got to call him back and kind of ask, hey, man, what all did we like say during this conversation? But it was all because, yeah, my emotions it was different type of emotions that I never felt before. And by my surprise, just getting that news. So yeah, man, that's kind of how that was.
Javon, like, look, it was a surprise. It sounded like we got that phone call from Alan Haller, the AD, for those who are listening, from Michigan State. You're getting a haircut. You're surprised by this call. And, we want to talk about a little bit like the running back situation that's going on. And, I can't help but think that we got to bring on the guy who taught you how to run the ball, especially when you were at Michigan State. Enos.
Yo,
Coach Enos.
Hey, coach. Woo!
Hey, these two guys didn't even know how to run until I got them. Like one foot in front of the other.
Y'all, listen, y'all. I tell to this day, places I've been, because I was last at Toledo before I came here, but was Michigan State, then went to Toledo and being back. I tell everybody that my favorite coach was Dan Enos. That was my guy. Like, and it was all because it was just his personality. I clicked with it. He was very
He always brought you coffee. That's why.
He got Javon hooked on coffee.
I got him addicted to caffeine.
From day one. To this day, I still drink coffee because of Coach Enos. It saved me during camp.
Yeah.
But this was my guy. Yo, y'all said I didn't know you was gonna come on.
Hey, we started those early morning meetings with Coach D'Antonio, and Javon would come in could barely even I'm like, dude, you're gonna have to figure this out. So I brought him a coffee one day, and I made it super strong, bunch of sugar, bunch of creamer.
Yep.
Tasted like a milkshake, probably more than anything. But he was bouncing around the meeting room at the end of the meeting, and I was like, dang, we got to start doing this every day. So I had to bring choo-choo food every day, and I had to bring Javon caffeine every day. That's a true story.
Yeah.
Right?
So we would go to the meetings, and whatever the coaches, have like a lunch, and I know Tuesdays will be B-Dubs Day. So Coach Enos would have a big plate of wings for me. Yeah. Wednesday would be burritos or something. Have a burrito.
And I used to have to sneak it out because we weren't supposed to take it to you guys back in those days. You couldn't feed you. How stupid were those rules, right? So I'd be like, Coach D'Antonio would be like, "What are you doing, Dan?" I'm like, "Getting a lot of wings, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm hungry today." And I'd bring him down to JU because he wouldn't practice hard if he wasn't full, and Javon wouldn't practice hard if he didn't have caffeine. So let me tell you something. These two guys were like two of my favorite guys ever coached, but I've been coaching quarterbacks almost my whole career. And then I started coaching these guys, and it just changed everything for me. I had so much fun coaching these two guys, man.
Oh,
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Man, Chew, hey, we're learning that Chew had a different student athlete experience than most of the other guys on the team.
Anybody.
Yeah. Hey, these two guys, we can't talk about a lot of the stuff we used to talk about, but these two guys were entertaining for the whole room. But
that's what made it so dope. It wasn't always about football. Like we had fun. Like we had that was Michigan State. Like that was my mind with Michigan State. Like it wasn't always just about ball. Like having Coach Enos as a coach, having Jehuu as my partner, even my boy AJ, my roommate AJ, like just that whole collective unit. It was never just strictly about football. That's why I love Coach Enos because he was the head of the room and how he ran his office. Like I loved it. I loved coming to meetings. Like I love that. Like man,
I appreciate it. Hey, Jehuu, what was it? The Purdue game when I told you guys I was going to bench you guys?
Yeah.
And you said, "Who are you going to put in, Coach?" Remember that?
Yeah.
I was so pissed at you guys. You guys came down late for a morning meeting. It was like one of those 11 a.m. kickoff games or something.
Right. We came, and it started off like it was a blunder of a day because Javon and I were roommates so on the road, and I don't know what happened.
Was that the let's get that bowl game?
No, this is my senior year. We win, we go to a bowl game.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, he's like, "I'm gonna bench you guys. You guys ain't gonna." Javon and I looked at each other like, "Who's he gonna play?"
Yeah, and they were right too. That's what pissed me off. I was like,
"Oh my
God, you better play good today." You guys always did, though. You know,
there was those
Javon,
things.
Javon, how about Javon saying like, "I don't know if I did enough to get into the Hall of Fame." Like when you left JU, he was getting like 60 carries a game. This guy.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the other thing about Javon is you guys all know this about him, but your senior year at JU, he was so unselfish because we've used you for so much of that goal line short yardage stuff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, "Hey, Javon," one day I was like, "You getting pissed because we take you out on the goal line?" And Javon's like, "Hell no." He said, "JU's got to eat too, man. This is best for our team." And,
eat, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was so unselfish the way he played. And both you guys were like that, but you guys were so much fun to coach, man. Those were good times. Those are some of my funnest years coaching.
Yeah, and like even to that point, I've talked about this story. I know it was senior day on Penn State, and you know how we have the first 8 play script, and it was like a tunnel screen or something like that. And Javon refused to start because it was senior day. And Coach Enos was like, "That's your play, man." He's like, "No, it was Jehuu." And then Coach Enos was like, "All right, let's do this. Let's put the game away early, and then Jehuu can go wave to the crowd after we give him a send off."
Yeah, bro. We used to pay. Me and Jehuu used to paper like. That's why I feel like they haven't had like a 1-2 punch since me and Jehuu left. We used to like we didn't care who started. We would paper rock scissors for whoever got to play first. Like whatever. Like, hey, what, you want this? Do you want? I don't care. All right, whatever. Whoever wins, they got it. And then whoever won, they would get to play. And like. It was the best time of my life, man.
Yeah, you guys, I tell you what, and the thing you guys did too is how hard you guys practiced, and you guys probably didn't even realize this when you were players, but as a coach, how hard you guys worked every day and the enthusiasm, because again, you had fun while you're out there. That's contagious for the rest of our team, man. The rest, you know, the other guys then responded and practiced that hard and everything. But man, I tell you what, it was fun to coach you guys, but you guys also you made me scratch my head a lot of times too. Some of the stuff you guys were talking about in there.
Remember the first time that Thursday I did a dance in practice, and you're like, "Coach D's gonna kill you. He's gonna play." But low key, Coach D loved it. And then the next Thursday he comes, he's like, "Coach D wants you to do a dance again."
Oh, I thought you were going to get it, man. I did. But you guys, I tell you, what was what was the one game too, Jay? You remember me and you almost got into we got an argument during pregame warmups?
Yes, it was. I think it was Kent State.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the game. I had like 40 people from Africa, come to that game. And I'm there, getting after, and the coach called me and somewhere. And I was like, I don't know what happened. And he's like, you know what? Screw it. It's your senior year. It's all your people. You don't have to play. And then so we just go back and forth at it. And I knew Coach Enos was cool because then Javon's looking at me like, yo, what's going on?
I'm like, y'all chill, man.
And Javon, he's like, chill.
And then two minutes later, we're hugging again. We're best friends again.
Yeah. Like Coach Enos gives me a wink, and I was just like, all right, we good.
Yeah.
100% of a true story. 100% accurate. Yes, exactly.
So let's talk about Coach. You coached us at Michigan State, but you're a Spartan Dawg.
Yeah, I mean it's been a while since I've been back there, but I played for 5 years. I was a GA for 3 years. That's 8, and then I was a full-time coach for 4. So I was there 12 years of my career, my life, which is obviously most I've been anywhere. And obviously I'm like you guys, man. I'm so fond of that place and have so many great memories. And having played for George Perlis, and you already mentioned Lorenzo White, Javon. I played with Lorenzo, and you guys had Tony Mandrich on a while back, and teammates with him. I was very fortunate. I played on some really, really good teams, like you guys did as well. And the experiences and the fun and the bond that you have is, obviously stuff that that you have for your entire lifetime, and the memories that you have. And me, I've been so fortunate and blessed that not only have I experienced it as a player, but I've been able to experience it as a coach as well there, and to be around what a special place that is, and special school, and so many good people that we had a chance to be involved with, and so many experiences that come along with it, as you guys know.
Yeah, and so with Coach, I know you're at Arkansas now, the OC there. You were in Bama, and you coached you played in the Big Ten. You coached in the Big Ten. Last season, you were coaching in the Big Ten at Maryland. I was a little pissed at you after that game, but
I gotta eat too, Jay.
Right.
I gotta eat too.
So coaching in the SEC, coaching in the Big Ten, what are the parallels and what are the differences of the two conferences?
That's funny that you asked that. I'm going to say this. There's probably a lot more similarities than there are differences in the two leagues. People ask me, which league is best. I don't think it's even fair to say which one's best. They're both great conferences. They both have great teams, great coaches. They both have great venues. That's been something that's been really a blessing for me, is being in the SEC West. Now this will be my 4th year, and then having been in the Big Ten for 6 years, being able to experience coaching in all the great environments, the Michigan States, the Michigans, the Alabamas, the LSUs, the Penn States, all those different places. But there's so much, I think, more comparable, meaning that there's just each and every week, you better be prepared mentally, physically, and emotionally to play. Or if you're not going to win. And it's so competitive, both leagues, and the fine line it is between winning and losing is so close that I think that what we're all trying to do is trying to find our edge. What's our edge? As a coach, you got to find an edge. You got to try to give an edge to your players, and as players, you're trying to find your edge, whether it's through strength and conditioning or nutrition, or how you take care of your body during the week, or obviously from a schematic standpoint as well. But two great leagues. And so, like I said, it's an honor for me to have coached in both of the leagues, but a lot of comparisons. I think the big thing is this. I know all 4 of you guys, okay, would have made a lot of money if you're playing today.
Yeah.
All those times when I was trying to bring Jehuu food and all that, you would have been probably bringing me food, because all the money you guys would have been making, if you were playing today. That's the big difference you see in obviously the way the players are, the way they're treated and all that, which I think is obviously so awesome, that the players are the food we can give them and all the things they get. And then obviously the NIL money that they're able to earn now and do all that, man. I think that's great. And it's great for these young men. And again, you guys would have made a lot of money. You guys would have been.
Well, Coach,
I'm sure you guys sit around and talk about that.
Because you've been all over the country and you've seen the transition over time. Like, and I know you got a meeting coming up here, and we appreciate your time. But talk about like the difference now in recruiting, without getting specific, than it was, when you were recruiting guys like Chu and Javon.
I think it was, it was so much more, in my opinion, it was about relationships a lot more. Because if you were able to establish a relationship with a young man, you had a chance to beat other schools based on just your relationship with them. And now I think there's other things that get involved that may give somebody an edge over you. Like I always felt like the guys that worked the hardest were the best recruiters. And it's still, I think that's true to some degree. But now with the amount of money that's being, in play, sometimes you might be the best recruiter and the hardest worker, but if someone's going to get something more going to another school,
yes,
you can't.
Yes.
There's nothing you can do about that. But I think at the end of the day, it still is a lot about establishing relationships. And I think the big thing is you got to be able to show the players like, hey, if you come here, this is what we can do for you. You know what I mean? We can develop you this way. We can help you when you leave here, in these areas, maybe other than football too, which I think is very, very important. The thing about like all four of you guys and that I've known for a long time, and obviously had a chance to coach Jehuu and Javon from personal level, you guys are all super bright guys, smart guys, and we're great players. But, that's the thing about college. That's the thing about Michigan State that I'm so thankful for, was the things I learned there that gave me the opportunities to be able to do the things that we all do now.
Yeah, Coach, speaking of edge, and I got to bring it up before we let you go. So at Maryland, we were there at Maryland, and Javon don't know the story, but we wanted you and Coach Barnett wanted to come say what's up to you. And what your response was, I don't fraternize.
Hey, I said, I'm not very good on game day, guys. Like, I'm not very good on game day. That's probably why me and Choo got into a fight before the game. And,
right.
Purdue, I was out to going to bench the guys. But, when you're a coach, it's like, and every game is like, you got to be ready to go. So I just kind of tell the guys I know, I'll say, how you doing? Good luck today. Stay healthy. I'm not very good talking on games. I got to go.
Keep it simple and short, huh? Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Coach Enos, man. I really appreciate you, man. You were the best coach I've ever had, man. And it wasn't even so much about the coaching part of it, but just you as a person, dog. Like your sarcasm, your humor, like all of it. Like I appreciate you tremendously, man.
Well, I mean this, and to all you guys, I appreciate you guys, all you guys, and I appreciate this podcast. I've been following it on Twitter and stuff. I see clips and stuff. I'm like, this is awesome. I appreciate you having me on. Choo, you guys. But Jehuu and Javon, having coached you guys, I mean this, man. I love you guys, and you guys were two of my favorites. I don't like to say that, so don't tell anybody I said that. But if I rank them, like every day going in there, I was like, this is going to be a new experience going in that room. And you guys seriously made my life a lot easier, and I thoroughly enjoyed coaching you guys. So
thank you, Coach, man.
Best of luck, all you guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, thanks.
We got to get you back when you get more time.
Oh yeah,
have me back. I'd love to.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Coach.
All right, Coach.
Appreciate it. Dan Enos, everybody.
No, y'all surprised me with that shit, man. Like,
hey, man, I had to, man. We had something up our sleeve, a little something.
You were just talking to you, like, yeah, Coach Enos messaged me. He's like, did he message you? I was like, oh yeah.
That's what I'm like, yo, I just brought that up. Like, yo, did you really say this?
Oh my God! So you needed coffee, Javon. You coffee, the sweet like chocolate, milkshake coffee, and she needed chicken wing.
Yeah,
or food, whatever it was.
It was That's one awesome. Of those, bro. Y'all know how especially back in the day, these kids don't know shit about two-a-days. Like they don't know nothing about that stuff. Like they don't know nothing about the two-a-days, the constant banging, hitting. like it wasn't none of this science behind stuff. Like, we got to make sure guys have their legs and make sure they're not putting out X amount of altitude on the field and too many steps and too much exertion. It wasn't none about that.
No,
we had them hard Coach Manning lifts, like with just pounding away on the legs and stuff. And then at practice, and especially because we were there when Coach D, it was Coach D and Coach Narduzzi, two defensive coaches. They were all about hitting, like we're hitting, like.
Man.
Oh yeah,
it was those phases of like thud, and they'd be like in the middle of like random live. You like,
oh my God. So Jason, so it was like, it was one of those. I can say I was dragging ass in the morning, like I'm dragging, and then Coach Enos was like, "Hey, bro, you bugging? Like, hold on, I'll be right back." He got me like this big thing of coffee,
big old thing of coffee.
All that
Bro was out here like,
he was Gucci after that.
He was the first time though.
It got me out.
First time I ever saw coffee hit somebody, because I've never had coffee in my life. But he
neither.
was like literally like this, and then by the end of that, he was in that back, bugging.
It worked.
I was gonna ask Coach Chu, was like, were they boneless wings or bone in? Did you see him eat the chicken?
Yeah.
They were definitely bone-in wings.
Man, you seen him? You witnessed him eat chicken, right?
Yeah, man.
You witnessed him eat? Oh, he ain't witnessed it.
No, yeah. It's a national treasure for anyone to see Choo Choo eat chicken wings. It's incredible. We might do that, because got some stuff going on. We're gonna be down at the Big Ten Media Days, and then we might have something going on Friday night with some people, and Choo can get some wings and stuff. But man, Javon, let's talk about you, man. This is about you. You didn't think that you deserved being in the Hall because you felt like you didn't do enough at Michigan State. Well, you're just the all-purpose leader in yards, and you obviously had a great career. Talk about the things that you like to talk about off the field. You mentioned some guys. You mentioned AJ. You're thinking a roommate of yours.
Yeah.
Right. Who do you remember that kind of helps you get along to this stage now as a teammate?
Well, first things first. I mean, these two right here, Otis and Jehuu, they were a huge part of just my joy with being a Michigan State Spartan, because we battled, we did our things on the field, and then we also hung out off the field. And then, like I said, my boy, man, my dog AJ, he was a good running back, but I guess you kind of how things go sometimes. But even with that, because he played running, like I said, he played running back too. Man, this was my boy. Like, he always had my back. He was always encouraging me and always keeping me up during some of them hard times, man. We maybe didn't win a game. So that was things I remember. Like, the football field is one thing, but it was so much off the field with the brothers that I had, man, that just made my joy and my love for Michigan State last forever. Like, I can't even, how God blessed me to have some time in the NFL, that doesn't duplicate the time you spend with your boys in college, in the locker room. Like, those are things that were always a joy to me, man, which made all of this, my time in Michigan State 100% worth it.
Man.
Yeah, man. It's I'm just sitting and I'm like, this guy, Otis, and Otis knows this. He went Otis, and I really reconnected last year. And, there was all this, and then there was the Hall of Fame last year. Greg Jones got in, another guy we played with. And, and then Otis and I looked and we're like, damn, what does Javon have to do to get in here? Like,
it was not even like you or me. We was like,
let me say this. So Greg, first off, big shout outs to Greg.
Yeah.
When he got in, I was like, yo, I get it. Think about Greg. Greg was all Big Ten, like 3 years in a row. He was part of the first Big Ten championship since like back in the 90s that Michigan State has won. He was Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten. Like, these are all things I'm like, that's my.
Yeah, I feel you. Like,
I get it. Yes, I think he deserves to be in. He should have been in last year, exactly. But I think you're,
See, I don't see that
because I see it. I've been in the running backs room with you. I've been in a hotel with you. Your parents, my mom, your parents would come. We'll say prayers Friday nights in the hotel room. Our families would get together and see that. I see the person you are. I see, the athletic prowess that you bring. And this is one of my favorite games here. This Indiana game. That was my senior day there, and that's one.
That block.
Man, nice peel back. Who did that?
T-Love.
Woo, man.
This is the game, Javon. This is one of the unselfish moments this game here when I fumbled and then you faked an injury so I could score a touchdown to feel better about myself.
Hey man, so that's funny. I remember that, like that fumble. They brought it back. They scored, and then we're in. And it was, usually we was tag teaming, but I stayed in that whole drive. When we got down there, I remember I got us to like the 2, and I'm trying to get myself out.
Yeah,
like this is my dog Jehuu. He want these touchdowns, bro.
And plus, it was an outside zone play too.
Yeah, and they I remember they were telling me like, no, stay in there. Then I was like, all right, my hand, I get it. So
man down.
Bro, I wasn't about to let that be the last time you touch the ball that game. And if you fumble, like, nah, bro, give my dog his 6, bro. Give my dog his touchdowns, man.
Because then I'm running. We do the thing. I'm running out. I'm running in. Javon's running out. We go do the high five. He looks at me and gives me that smile, and then it just hits me. I was like, "That son of a gun faked an injury." And then so we get back to the bench, and I'm sitting there. I was like, "Rings, did you fake an injury?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I couldn't let you go out like that. You got to score. You got to feel good." And that's what I say. Like, especially in college football, we're all competing. We all wanted to play at the next level.
Yeah,
and to have a running mate that is willing to do something like that for you to make me look good, to make me feel good, to elevate my stats, that is something in itself right there. And that's why I said, like, a lot of people from the outside, they see number 23, Javon running around this. Oh, he's a great player. He's a great player. But Otis knows this. Jason knows this. Every single person that you played with, you're a better person than a football player.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
I know before we get too emotional, we're going to get into some fun stuff. We're going to talk about, some of the top plays and, some photo caption opportunities and what people have been saying about it on, the internet and all that. But we're going to get to that after this message from our friends over at IHOP.
Put a smile on your plate with new pancake tacos. Because when you fold a pancake in half, you get a taco. Or in this case, 3 for $6. Try all 4 flavors, here for a fun time, not a long time. Only from IHOP.
All right, guys. So look, let's talk a little bit about the top plays. We have like 5 plays that everybody's been talking about, the Javon Ringer top 5. Do we have any of that video for our fellas in the back?
I want to see if you agree with all these too.
Too, like we needed that touchdown, dog.
So that one, because I'm not even when I be talking with some of these recruits, I'm not a huge fan of like some goal line run when it's just that easy. I was untouched. Like that's not a highlight, but I agree with that one because like I said, I was able to kind of set the record of touchdowns in a single season with that touchdown. So it was like, all right, we can go with that one.
Like running backs can say that because y'all be crossing the goal line all the time. Like it was. we dream. You dream of catching that thing, and taking it to the crib.
You're untouched, bro. You're untouched.
So good, man.
I'm one of the only guys on the line that touched the ball. But we have no shot at making a damn touchdown, right? Unless you fall on it. But
so that play there, you didn't go. Were you on field goal team?
Was I on field goal team?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't on PAT. No,
I wasn't on
PAT. I see he stayed on.
No. That's because I think we were going
down. We had to go for 2. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, hey, Lee, you gotta know somebody.
Hey, look, all I remember is when Jay used to be on that side. He used to be out here punching like.
Yeah, I did that for 1 year.
I know.
I started making plays, and I was like, "Hey, man,
wow." Because some of those plays, like even my long, like it's.
Let's look at another one.
This one is my favorite. This is my favorite because this was a turn up right here.
I got a lot of that one.
This was
cutback versus Michigan.
So listen. I picked it was a good run, yes. Yes.
Ooh, Kellen Davis, good.
Kellen smoked somebody.
At the end of the day, I didn't finish. You gotta score. I got caught. And that's why I tell kids today, you run track. Run track. Because my hip flexors were fatigued. They weren't strong enough. I wasn't everybody who run track. Y'all know about having good knee drive and bring yourself. I didn't have that. So now
blame Markdale. He ain't peeled back like Terry Love did.
My favorite thing is you patting him on the head.
Nah, man, I was more so hey man, good shit, man. I was mad on the inside. I gotta finish that. But it was a good run, man. But on a lot of my long runs, I wish I would have ran track more, but now I just use it as a teaching lesson to all kids in high school, run track. Because you don't want to be like me and get caught. I had great acceleration and explosion through the hole. But when it came to that long speed, maintaining my top end speed, I had weak hip flexors, but that I would have got if I had ran track. So, hey, kids, don't be like me. Run track. Run track.
You might be able to make it into a Hall of Fame, maybe. When you're in your 20s. I don't know. But let's look at another run against Northwestern here.
Northwestern, yeah, man. Appreciate that from Roland.
Look at the down down.
Look, that's when you did that. Ooh,
just trying to hit it, man. Yeah, that. I don't know. I was
top end speed.
I think I was lucky enough that my dog, who fell off my shoulders, he had a cast on, so he couldn't really grab me completely.
Oh,
so I'm maybe that helped me out.
You know what helped you? You know what helped you?
Coffee.
You were fast. That's what helped you.
Strong.
That guy could have had 10 fingers on each hand, and he still wouldn't have got you.
I mean, I was strong. Just I could lift a lot, and I was explosive. But I do I don't know. I wish I would have ran track. It would have helped me out a lot with my long speed and not have been able to get caught on some of my runs. But hey, at the end of the day, God was good, man. God bless me.
Now this one here's my favorite. This run here's my favorite because it's such a teaching moment with running backs. What you're supposed to do. We practice that. Those two hand shields. Boom, 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 then spin off.
Yeah, man. I remember.
Hey, you know what though? When we wear the white unis, you look real leaner, right? It's make you look.
That's crazy. For the big fellas, it's the opposite,
That was a big game, mainly because that was my first time ever playing in Michigan Stadium. Because I didn't play.
Our freshman year,
my freshman year, they were home. They came to us. That's when we played them in overtime. Then my sophomore year, when y'all went there, I was hurt.
Yeah.
So I didn't play in that game. But that was a big one. Finally playing in the big house and finally getting that first, because that was the first win against Michigan at Michigan since what they say 1990.
Yeah.
So to have been a part of that, man, it was a blessing.
Man. You talk about being a part of that. I think you're a huge part of that. When you look at this, man.
So you want to hear? So what's wild about that? I know my homeboys they were happy in the locker room, but I don't even know if I should say this here, but fuck it. I was really kind of like, man, yeah, we won this game, but we should have won this game. The game I wanted to win was Jehuu.
Yes.
That's when I don't give Michigan F Michigan. I don't care nothing about, but I will say, in 2008, they weren't that good. In 2007, for me, that was when they were all right, hey.
It was the Lloyd Card.
Yeah, I do not like Michigan. I will never like Michigan. I don't care nothing about them or their players, but I respect talent. Them boys were good. They were good. In 2007, that was the game that I wanted us to win. So when we won in 2008, it was all right, I'm thankful, yes, but damn, I wish we could have won that Jehuu year, man. That was the game I wanted. But so yeah, that was cool though. I'm glad. I am thankful that we did get that.
Oh boy, I got Javon in trouble here.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you did.
I apologize, y'all. That's my bad.
Oh, look, you gonna
I'm just saying, get it.
Ghost after this one.
Yeah,
that's my fault, man. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Oh, you're totally good. Guys, we want to get into the captions here. Let's do a little trip down that. Let's see the picture of you in the middle of all the Michigan Wolverines here.
Hey, what they say?
That's a D lineman, huh?
Ring, what they say?
All of them,
You remember it. I know you remember it like it's yesterday. What
it was after a run. It was just, it was just like a 2-3 yard run. It happens. I got up, they talking mess. I'm doing my mind of my business. I'm walking back to the huddle. I hear my dog say some slick mess. So I turn back like, what? And then we just kind of start going at it. And now they all around me like, bro, I ain't no punk, dog. That ain't how Spartans get down. So I broke.
Hey, where the offensive lineman at? Usually they're supposed to come with you.
I know. It was on to the next play. That's how our motto is. Like, hey, on to the next one. But me, I don't know. Like
I don't know why you're wearing long sleeves.
Hey, it was an October month. It was a little brisk.
Chilly, little nippy out there.
I was cold. I can wear my sleeves and I still hang on to the ball.
So what do you remember exactly what you said?
No, I can't even pull nothing out of my butt right now about what I don't remember exactly. It was.
I don't know if you got a chance to read what some viewers said that they thought you said. Bro, a few trips to the buffet, scoreboard. It was your boy Tom's story. Our boy. What you say about my mama? I'm doing all this to y'all on one hamstring. So talk about
I had again another lesson that I tell a lot of guys, especially running backs. You have to play special teams. Like you got to know how to play special teams, and it's not gonna just click for you if you have that chance to go to NFL. But it sucks because it's always like that last. We were doing like some kickoff return that Thursday, last period. Just finishing up. I'm out there. I got the ball. I ran like maybe 15 yards, and I felt like a pull, and it like a big strain in my hands. I fell and everything. Like, yo, what? And I like strained my hamstring that Thursday, and I'm not gonna say it was a complete tear or nothing like that, but it was definitely like I pulled my hamstring. To the point to where I felt it and it made me fall. And then I remember I was with the trainers and they were looking at my hand. They felt that huge knot in my hand. Well, Coach Manning came over to me, man. Yeah, they felt that knot in there. We were trying to rub it out and rehab it that Thursday evening and night and all of Friday and going into Saturday. So I definitely had that thing wrapped up. It is a blessing that I was able to play in that game. But I tweaked my hamstring that Thursday, but by the grace of God, I was able to still contribute during that game.
You talked about the grace of God. Even earlier I heard you saying that, part of the reason you guys bonded so much was not only you guys are roommates on the road, you guys were teammates, you're selfless, but there was prayer. Your parents come in, your mom would come.
Yeah, my mother, man.
Yeah,
because my mother really loved Jehuu too. She loved his story. She loved just even with knowing his story, just how he was as a person, how he was to me, with being older than me, and she loved the brotherhood that we had together with sharing that backfield. So my mother is a praying woman, man. She would come into our home. She would like.
Hold on, Javon. Hold on. Let's just ask her about it. Let's bring her on the show. Mama Ringer.
Hi, Javon.
Mama Ringer joins the Sparta MSU. Hey, Mama.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
Jehuu, this was I know you, bro. I know it. Anyway, like I was saying, my mother would come. Like she loves me and Jehu's relationship, and every game, like when we were in the hotel, she would come into the room, man, and she would grab both our hands, and we would have our praying moment, man. It was something that we took serious, man, because I love God, man. God has been tremendous to me, which is something that in my upbringing with my parents and my late father, that was a huge part of, I felt like, all my success at Michigan State. And then me and Jehuu together, my mom was definitely praying for it.
Yeah, I know, too. Even we did that in the hotel room. I remember after warm-ups, we go back to the locker room. You and I would go off in the shower and say a prayer before we head back on the field again. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
So talk about Momma Ringer, Darlene
Hi,
Ringer
mother.
joins the show.
Hi,
Like talk about
hey,
you
when did she
hearing
know
the
this?
news.
When did she know? When did she know this?
I wasn't supposed to tell you. I wasn't supposed to say anything.
So you knew this weekend.
Jehuu called me, and so I knew when I was up there this past weekend. So I wasn't supposed to say anything.
That's why when you put her on FaceTime on Saturday, I was like,
Yeah.
That's fair.
But we try and get up there every Friday before the game because I think, prayer covers the kids from injury, and prayer is always in order. So every time I would get off from work because I was working. So we try and get up there before 9:00 before the coach shut down the floor, and I let everybody, up there, Ross Weaver, I think, was another one that we was praying for at that time. So we had some that were really special and close to our heart that we was praying. So we'd have prayer in the room. And by the time the season ended, we had quite a few people that was coming in the room for prayer. And even Jehuu, your parents came in the room, and we always having prayer. So we was building a little group up there, for prayer.
That's special. So how did you feel? When did you get the news that Javon was going to be in the Hall of Fame at Michigan State?
Javon, was that the day that they told you, when you told me, or when did you tell me?
No, I knew like a day or so before I told you here.
Okay. So I was excited for him. I'm just glad that, he's alive to be able to enjoy the event. And I do think that he is very deserving. He's worked hard. He's played hard. And he is a humble person. I mean, he got his ways, but he is a very humble person. He is giving. So all those things that people are saying about him is true. He's not one way out in public and another way at home. He's a very, very selfless and a very giving person. And I'm proud to have him, as my son.
Hey, Jason, I was very casual when I told my mother, like, she was here at my house here, and I just said, hey, by the way, I'm getting inducted. I got inducted to the 23 Michigan State Hall of Fame. I just wanted to put that out. I said it very mellow. I don't know. I didn't want it to be, because I ain't want it to be over the top. So she left that, like, I said it to her very casual, just kind of like, it's a normal conversation, just because that's not what I wanted. I didn't want it to be, I had time to calm myself down. I wanted to keep everybody else right there too. Like, yo, just be cool, man. Be relaxed, be chill.
But it's a big moment. It's okay to celebrate it. I mean, this is not something that happens every day.
Right.
Basically, inducted into a Hall of Fame like this is very, telling of the kind of young man you were when you were an athlete at Michigan State, and now, like, you hear all these stories, man. I mean, it's good. Like you said, you thought you were gonna be 50 years old or posthumous, like me and Otis and Chu. Chu might get in there, and then Otis. And then when I'm, about 120 years, my great grandchildren might, they'll have just a jersey. But this is good. You're healthy. You're young. And your daughter can witness this too. You'll have pictures.
Yeah, man. That's. It's funny, as much as I didn't want a daughter, God knows I didn't want a daughter. Having a daughter has been tremendous to me. I still deal with my own little stuff, but having her and having her be able to experience this with me, like, even though I know she's only 2, so of course she might not remember a lot of it, but just being able to have those pictures with her, man, like you said, me and my wife, we talked about this before. Like, if I had any chance. And it's happened. Like, a lot of guys are super old by the time they get in. And the fact that I'm able to get this now, to be able to experience this with my family, my friends. I talked with my dog, Coach D. He told me he was going to be able to be back for that. Coach Manning texted me. I love Coach Manning. I got to make sure I'm going to hit Coach Manning back. Just being able to experience that with them, and then my daughter, my family, man, it means the world to me.
And we can't forget your dad. We did lose my husband. It was a year ago in October. And I know if he was still alive, he'd be super proud of Javon, because he was one of his biggest fans. So I'm just thankful that I'm still alive, at least, to be able to, see this day, this moment. But he was Javon's biggest cheerleader, biggest fan, never missed any of the MSU games at all. Even when he had to go to church on Sunday, we get up at 4 a.m. in the morning just to drive back so he can preach his Sunday morning services, but he was not going to miss any of the MSU games to make sure he was there to support Javon. So I know if he was still here, he would just be tickled pink.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, it was the one story I forgot what year we went back to Dayton, and we went to church service, and I was trying to figure out, like, man, where's Javon get his athletic ability? Because this man is he's a different creature. He's one of them godly guys. Like, he has different powers, right? And so I remember your dad was preaching, and he got into that flow. The spirit started to move, and he stood up on that little.
On the little bit.
The rail. The rail. Yeah.
The rail. And I was like, man, my
dad was old. My dad was older, man. I know what you're talking about, Otis.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. He stood up on there. He started.
Yeah, he stand up on the rail.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man, I was like, he get it from that, but he also get it from Momma Ringer too. So man.
I mean, all right, I guess I get him something.
So Momma Rings, we just played, some of the big plays by Javon and everything, and you see highlights and everything. What was one of your favorite, moments for Javon on the field?
Well, I kind of like the one where he was going like Superman, but they didn't do that one. And at the Michigan game where he was standing in between all those guys, I told my husband, I said, they're saying something to Javon. And he's like, no, they ain't saying nothing. And I said, yeah, they are. And so when I seen Javon kind of do his head like this to the guy, I told my husband, see, I know they was messing with them. So they had been picking with him anyway. And, you pick with Javon long enough, he get fed up. Then you're going to have to deal with him. So they was kind of egging him, But I would say the one where he was flying like Superman, he was number 39 then. And I also like the run where, unfortunately, he got caught making that long run, because that was like one of his high school runs where you think you got him locked up and he'll go around the other way and come out, but he'd make it in then. So that was one of them high school moments when he was a running back then. So
that Superman one she talking about.
That's out Illinois.
Yeah, that's about to say Illinois.
I had that nasty number 39 when they just used to give you a number. Compared to nowadays, these kids get.
Hey, no, you need to stop. Chew got his number though.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Before he committed.
Chew got his number before. That's what I said. He has
Nick.
a different experience than we do.
One thing with Mr. Nick, but that moment, that game, that Illinois moment, that was a moment where it hit me that Javon was a different breed of running backs, because we're standing on the sideline. He jumps from like the 5.
Yeah, he did. I remember like 7. He
takes off from like the 7 probably.
I was tripping.
I was like, I think like Teague was still there.
Yeah, Jason Teague.
Yeah.
Teague and I look at each other and we're like, we can't do that.
I was tripping.
And then there's a great story about Teague pertaining to, so we're playing Iowa and Biscuit Bob was there, and Bob Sanders, Teague was running, got hit, and Teague, you know how the walls for Spartan Stadium's close, got hit into the wall, like from the field, he flew into the wall, and he comes up on the sideline. Then Javon goes in, and I was like, Teague, you good? And then Teague, you know how he had asthma, so he's shaking his inhaler. I wish Javon was in for that one.
Jason Teague, man, I ain't talked to that dude in years, man. I hope he's doing all right, man. He was super cool,
man. Just look, how's it feel, man? You got surprise today. You got Coach Enos here, and then Moms. I mean,
yeah,
hey, it's a good day, isn't it?
It's been dope, man. I was more, I guess I'll say more surprised with Coach Enos, because I see my mother. I talked to my mom, and I knew that had asked Jehuu that right there. But Coach Enos was a huge surprise, man, because like I said, that was like one of my. There ain't no one of my. He was my favorite coach that I've had throughout my entire football career. Coach Enos was my dog, man. Like, it was just, and it was more so his personality. Coach Enos is a very He's a very sarcastic guy. You gotta click with it to enjoy that. And I loved it. I don't know. That sarcastic a-hole stuff. I don't know if it's funny to me. But I love having Coach Enos. And then my mom, that was I got my mom on this, man. But that's
yes. You only get one. You don't have one mom.
Right.
That's true. Yeah, I got one. But I just saw her. Like, it'd be one thing if I don't talk to my mom often or whatever. If I don't see her, I just saw her this weekend. So I don't know, but that's very surprising. But I know that was Jehuu. That was a good one.
Like, that was Jehuu.
Complete surprise. I definitely didn't expect Coach Enos, and no way I thought my mother.
Well, you gotta let us all celebrate you, man. That's what this is about.
And I'm greatly appreciative of it, man. Like, yeah, all of this whole thing, like with the whole Hall of Fame stuff, this right here and all the Hall of Fame stuff, it's been a huge blessing for me, man. Like I said, a lot of the attention, I don't know, it's been a little overwhelming. It's like I'm real. I like being in the background. Like I like chilling behind the scenes and uplifting others. And it's I don't know, it's wild when it's actually me. And I say Alan said, like, when he gave me the call, he felt like I was just trying to be humble. But nah, I was dead ass. Like, I don't know. I'll be.
Yeah, but you were always told that, though. I used to always tell you all the time, make sure you stay humble, and, don't make your face the face of the program. So, you were raised that way, to always be humble. So you've really been that way all your life, because that's what we've been telling you. Because no one person is the team. It takes the team effort. It takes everybody working together to make the team work, to make the dream work. You need another person. One person isn't the team. It's everybody. And so that's the foundation that, he was raised on. So he just carried that on throughout his life. That's just who he is.
Solid foundation. You can't hide a candle underneath a bushel. That's biblical. Here we go.
Oh, snap. No.
Look at this.
There you go.
I wasn't about to make that.
And you know what happened after that, Otis?
Hey, Javon, is it true? Every time Chew was to run in there like this,
The extra elbow action.
he had the armbands on. He's like, I appreciate you, Ring. I appreciate you.
So the thing too, like, because the student section used to say you, and I didn't catch that. And this one time, Javon and I are sitting there. He's like, now, do you realize that every time you go in, they're saying you?
Am I tripping? Yeah, I remember.
Show that takeoff one more time to Superman before we wrap up it. Like, let me see. Where did he take off from?
Man, it was
right about the 5. Yeah, cartwheel.
I was a freshman, man. I was young. I was stupid. I wasn't about to think that.
Another quick selfless story, but like not selfless, but Javon talked about he likes being in the background. I remember it was one time after practice, and they wanted to take a picture of him and I for like the big board, like in front of the stadium there. And it was some pose, something in the game that was running, and they got the picture, but they wanted us to recreate it because I had an ankle injury. So I had my shoes spatted. So like the Nike sign wasn't showing. So at practice, they made us try to run. Remember, we're running and jumping, trying
to time this up. Like, yeah.
And we're doing all these takes, and the guy's like, I can't get this. I can't. I really want to be up there. I was like, oh, man, I kind of want to be up.
It's amazing to me, like stuff like that. You don't see a whole lot of it nowadays, man. A lot of these, like even what Coach Enos was saying, a lot of it, and not like just here, but like other programs, like it's a lot about me, and I get it, and I get it. Kids want to get what they can get, why they can get it, because that next level ain't promised to you, but. I'm truly thankful for my time in Michigan State, especially it was like that 2007 year. Like we were like that team that we had, all of us. That's what I love, man. I never wanted it. I never looked for it. I didn't want it all just about me. I'm the one getting all the attention. No, I loved being a part of a team. And like Coach D's first year when he got there, man, mad props to Coach D and that coaching staff and the things they they wanted to establish with the Michigan State culture and the toughness and the grind they put us through. Like, I appreciated all of that. Like that, yeah, man. It's a gift from God that I wish others can experience, but also that I'm thankful that I was able to experience that, because now look, we almost 40 years old, and these are relationships that we still have to this day. So I'm very thankful.
Wow.
Yeah, and Coach D, he was a great coach, and so he came from Cincinnati. And a lot of times when the other coach come in, they bring their own staff, their own running backs, their own teammates. But for him to have the confidence in Javon that when he came up there, he didn't get another running back. He still stuck with Javon, because them coaches they got their own players that they were recruiting and wanting to come in to do this and do that, but he knew what Javon could do, and he always wanted him even when he was in Cincinnati. So I think they were meant to team up and they were meant to be together. I still think that was prayer.
That's powerful. Absolutely.
Because it was there was that instant bond with Coach D and Javon, when Coach D first came in there. So definitely.
Momma Ringer, we thank you so much for joining the show and giving a little surprise to your son. It put a smile on our face, at least. I know I see Mama all the time, but it's good seeing you. Thanks for joining the show, and we look forward to you going to be at the ceremony. Are you going to be at the game when he's inducted officially?
Yeah, I'll be there. But thank you guys for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All righty.
All right, Mom.
Javon, man. Hey, man.
Cussing at his mom in the background.
I was like,
Michigan.
Straight
I'm
cussing.
sorry.
I was like, oh, Lord.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, it's a locker room. It's a locker room environment right here. Sometimes you might hear something.
What there? Oh.
Man, hey, Rings, man, it was a pleasure having you on, man. Like, look, you're going to be a staple. You're a guy, you got a lot of energy, and, your personality, your humbleness shines through, man. There are people just
I appreciate that, bro.
But make you, and look, like I said, you ain't hiding no candle under a bushel, brother. So keep trying to be humble. We're going to keep putting you out there on a pedestal, okay? Because you're a crown jewel for us. We appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
We're going to turn it all the way up for the food. I'm going to have Papa Wiley ready for
Ooh,
yeah. Everything. Like the group, the parents was real close too then.
Yes.
Right. But,
yes.
Hey, that fried chicken, baby, we're going to have it right on deck, brother. Got you. Look, he's like, yes, go.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Thank you.
No problem, man.
All right, Rings.
See you soon, man. Go
Right,
green,
much
brother.
love, fellas.
Much love. Javon Ringer. Man, you did it, Chew.
Hey, look, Chew, this is going to be the best episode. Chew going to get the awards, and then,
Hey, man, there you go.
Look, Chew going to stand up there and was like, I want to thank God and myself.
Oh, man. Who do you think I am?
That was
Choo-choo.
Man, you can really see that. Having Enos on there too, talking about you guys, the stories, you can tell how much he remembers those days. It's different now, obviously. We see it.
I ain't bringing back no Smealing, so look, clearly you like.
Come on, don't bring Smealing back.
No,
Let's talk about the days.
I owe my scholarship to Smealing, man. I'm just playing. But you already know. I ain't trying to hear that voice. It's PTSD, man. Yeah. Hey, appreciate you, Chew. Hey, that man had a producer mind like there.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that man had it right.
That is. Executive producer.
Yeah, might as well put it on there. Tony
Producing credits. Okay.
Hear me out, Stray. Hear me out. Oh, we doing that.
I did go to Stray like that. I was like, now hear me out. And then I ran it on. He's like, oh, yeah.
No brainer. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. No, guys, let's build upon this one, man. I know that the live chat had to be going crazy. We obviously this is a tape one, but we are on our way down to Indianapolis. We're gonna be there tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the 26th. July 26th is a cool day. It's Wednesday. We're gonna be in Indianapolis. We're gonna catch some stuff. We might go live. You're gonna see obviously the interview with Mel Tucker on stage there at the Big Ten Media Days, maybe run into some NBC folks that are going to be looking at some of our games, at the Ohio State game and Peacock, Washington game. And we're just going to have, we're going to give you some behind the scenes look at what goes on down there. All three of us will be there, right, Otis?
Absolutely.
All right. Chew, you in, right?
Yeah.
All day. And then we got
Spartan
Dawg time.
It's Spartan Dawg time.
And it's a big week in Spartan.
Ready to go.
Let's go, baby. All right. So until we see you guys again, so for Otis Wiley, Jehuu Caulcrick, I'm Jason Strayhorn. This is Sparta MSU. Have a good night. God bless you. Go green.
Go white.
This is Sparta MSU is a combined presentation of Playfly Sports Properties and Michigan State Sports Properties. The show is produced by Tony LaBarbera, Tony Gustella, and Process Driven Consulting. Additional support is provided by Brendan Duravage. On-location technical support provided by Good Fruit Video. Be sure to follow our host Jason Strayhorn, Jehuu Caulcrick, and Otis Wiley on social media. To stay up to date with all the latest This is Sparta news, please like and subscribe by visiting our link tree and tell a friend to do the same. Thank you for your support, and as always, go green.